So in this presentation, we're going to talk about conversion rate optimization for small business. Some of the topics we'll go over are what is conversion rate optimization, some examples, some techniques, and a discussion about conversion rates. So what is conversion rate optimization? Well, first we have to actually identify what are conversions, and these are typically business operations where one thing converts to another. So it could again be marketing to a lead, lead to a sale, sale to a shipment, things like that. So that's the conversion. The optimization is looking at ways to make that conversion more efficient, effective, or more frequent. So one of the things we need to be aware of is we have to record data. This is the data related to the different aspects of the conversion, the before or after. So all that data needs to be recorded. Then once we have that data and the before and after, we can then look at actually a conversion rate, which is basically the changing of something to something else, converting. Pretty straightforward. There are ways in which there are different ways that the conversion rate optimization can help. One, actually, you can just educate your customer better. That's one way to improve the conversion rate. And there are many ways that conversion rate optimization can help, because if you can actually eliminate your involvement, for example, having to make a phone call or waiting for a reply back on an email quote, these are ways you can optimize your conversion rates at different things. So let's look at some examples. First example of places where you can look for conversion rates are in marketing. And there are a number of different things here. One could be the website visitors that you're receiving. Two could be if you're using paid advertising on the internet. If you're in the home services industry, there are different websites where people could find your business to then move through into a lead and sales process. People may find you through your social media account, and just generic review websites may actually bring in different forms of marketing that then could be looked at to use conversion rate optimization to improve. Another place where data for conversion rate optimization may be recorded is in the lead process. So you may have quotes that are available on your website. Many, if not all businesses accept phone calls, which a lot of people call to learn more about the information and hopefully move into a sale. And people sometimes like to just send an email and ask questions. The next area where you may be having data that can be looked at for conversion rate optimization is within your sales. Depending on the type of business, this could be appointments that are made for service-based business. It could be products sold if you're into a product-based business. If you are in products, it may be, again, shipping those products out. And in the end, many businesses will have forms of customer service they need to complete at the end of the process before the interaction with the customer is concluded. So let's look at some techniques of conversion rate optimization. One way you can do this is through a website form. On your website, basically you would create a form that people would fill out with different information, probably some personal information about themselves. If it's a service base, it could be a quote. If it's a product, it may be wanting to learn more information about it. So you would, but the benefit is you can actually capture all this information without involving employees. Hence, right there, you're already improving the process. These forms can get very complex and have multiple steps, which again aids in getting all the information you need. And some of the forms can actually be conditional in the sense that if they select one option, a different path of the flow may be triggered. A website landing page is another place where conversion rate optimization can be looked at. This could be a dedicated web page just for one purpose, for example, getting a quote or signing up for a service or a product. The key already about a website landing page is it can be a simplified web page. You don't have to have all the information you might need on your homepage. And you can really focus on to a single call to action. Once they go to the page, say from an internet ad, what do you want them to do once they're on that page? Telephone call tracking is another place where conversion rate optimization could apply. One option is, instead of having just one phone number on your website, you can actually have a pool through a call tracking service, and those numbers are rotated, so you can actually identify specific people, what they're doing on the website, and if they do decide to call, then that information can be passed along. Other places you could do in your marketing is provide individual phone numbers for each marketing effort. Thus, you can see which marketing efforts are generating which leads and look at ways that conversion rate optimization could be applied to that process. So let's talk about the actual conversion rate optimization. So there are specific places where conversions occur. One is your website visitors, and there are a number of different metrics that might be useful on there to look at what conversion rates. One would be from the source, where are they coming from to land on your website. Depending on your business, you may have people in multiple physical locations, and that information can be collected through website programs. The device type, in this case, desktops versus mobile. You may have specific campaigns you're running, and that information can be passed along. The pages themselves may hold information that helps you understand the nature of the website visitors, and certain goals could be identified. For example, going to a web form and then clicking the thank you page, and then those are, again, different conversion rates that can be all calculated. Rate to phone calls and conversion rates. If, again, you're using the tracking information, you could determine the source of it. So, for example, if it's an internet ad that you paid for and you had a specific phone number, you now know that's paid, as opposed to, say, your website, which may be organic or paid. You could have a phone number on a billboard, and hence that's a paid, and the phone number in the yellow pages or something like that. Phone calls, of course, have some inherent nature to them. Time, when did they call? This could be useful between morning and afternoons or weekends or after hours. And the employee that actually answered the call, which, in a sense, if these are salespeople, then that information is also available and to be recorded to look at the conversion rate. If you get into something specifically like a website quote, again, multiple sources could be determined. If the source comes from a paid, again, an internet ad or something like that, or organic through natural things. They found your website because of a search query, or they found your Facebook page and then clicked the link to learn more or something like that and came to your website. Internet ads themselves provide tons of data that can be useful in the conversion rate. The platform, again, is it a Google ad? Is it a Facebook ad? You may have multiple campaigns within each of those, which then may have different ad types that you're actually going through. Number of conversion rates are kind of built into these systems. For example, the click-through rate, how many times is your ad seen and then is actually clicked. Because these are paid platforms, there's a cost related to each click, and ultimately, if they perform the action your desired, conversions can be displayed. Sales has many conversion rates. If you're doing products or services, obviously the selling of those could be different quantities, the different amounts that are actually charged. Sources that may or may not help in the sales, whether, again, it's an internal salesperson or through a lead that came from a marketing source. And again, much like phone calls, which employee was involved in that sale, which may be information that's beneficial when looking at conversion rate. So some conclusions on conversion rate optimization. There are a number of benefits. The first is that it allows, if you record the data, to perform conversion rate optimization. So it's very important to record all the data that maybe you're interested in looking at trying to convert at a better rate. The data then can be looked at to show different ways you can optimize it. Many of these methods actually can be helped along by educating your customer at different aspects or different phases of the different process, which could help in performing higher conversion rates. And many of these techniques and examples have ways to show where you don't actually have to be involved. So they can be automated and made more efficient by applying different conversion rates optimization to your business methods.